Religion and politics. It gives me anxiety just to say those words at this time of year. This time, every 4 years, is not my favorite time of the year. My husband and I have always been on different sides of the aisle. And in our household, we have made it a policy. It probably took about 10 years, but after that 10 years, we decided that we will no longer discuss national politics. It just wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy for me or him or our marriage. And we don't discuss that. So I happen to have a family that on one side is very Democratic, on the other side is very Republican. And within each side, there is somebody that is so fanatic about their side. So when we have holiday get-togethers, it's often interesting and sometimes not fun, and sometimes in the middle of it going, not in my house, this is not happening. So the only thing that is comforting to me during this time is to know that I canceled my husband's vote. Although this is a stressful year for me because my son turned 18 and he has registered to vote, and it's not looking good for my team. It's just simply not. So I'm a little stressed about that. I really dislike when religion and politics is brought up in the public eye, where there's actors or people that are just out there talking about politics and religion. And I know it shouldn't bother me, but it does, and it affects me the way I think of that actor. I try to avoid, if I'm hearing an interview or something like that, to not pay attention to what they're saying with regard to those two things, because I want to go to a movie or I want to see a TV program that if the act, I don't pay attention to the actor. I want to know what they are, what the actor, the role that they're playing, and not as them personally. So I've tried to do that, and I wish it wouldn't affect me, but it really does. It's often said in political or in social situations that you're not supposed to talk about religion and politics. I think it's really good advice. Over the summer, I had a little incident, and I happened to be on a board that's based out of Washington, D.C. And with my board, we were at a beautiful restaurant just a couple blocks from the White House. Very nice. And what did we happen to talk about but politics and religion? It happened to be the week that they were talking a lot about Mormonism. There was a lot of different shows on what it is and a lot of criticism, and I really didn't like that. So we got to a point where this is what came out of my mouth. So I said, well, I don't really care about what people's religion are. That just doesn't matter to me. But I don't think that I could vote for an atheist. Right next to me, my little Canadian friend happens to be an atheist that she told me minutes later. So as I was taking my foot out of my mouth, she was very gracious, and we had a really lively conversation with regard to politics. And she was very nice about it as I tried to get out of my statement that I made. She said a couple very interesting things with regard to Canadian politics. Politicians' religious beliefs are simply not discussed. And I thought that was refreshing. That could probably help us in our communities. And the second thing is, which I found the most fantastic, is that their political season or their campaigning is only 6 weeks. That's it. So I propose, I don't know how to do this. Ron, you might be able to tell me how to do this. But I propose that we make some changes. I think we should have 6 weeks of a primary elections where everybody who wants to run for president can run for president. Narrows down to 2 or 3 with the independent party, and then 6 weeks of general election. Wouldn't it be great if the president, our senators, our congressmen only spent 6 weeks campaigning? How much can they spend in 6 weeks? And how much work could they get done in the other part, outside that 6 weeks? It would be amazing that they always would be out there trying to raise money and get to everybody. They can only campaign for 6 weeks. And because Americans love a good reality show, I know I do, every night at 8 o'clock they would be on the air And I think it would be really fun is every night they got nailed with table talk. It's bang, bang, bang. That's all I have to do is, not have anything prepared. There's not advisors sitting by them about what they need to say. But I think we can know a candidate pretty well if they did that. They had free TV every night at 8 o'clock. And in that 6-week period of time, I think we could know our politician pretty well. Well, I've learned my lesson with regard to religion and politics. I try not to discuss it very much. I try to think about politics. I think I see a lot of gray. I know some people see it in black and white, but I see a lot of gray. My Canadian friend at the very end of the dinner says to me, okay, your next presidential election, you have Hillary Clinton and you have an atheist. Who are you going for? I said, you got me. It's the atheist.